Greetings, gamers, especially my dear friend Klesa. I'm LotusCrane, and this is Sid Meier's Civilization V, a turn-based strategy game developed by Firaxis Games and published by 2K Games. I'm going to go through the first half hour or so of a game for, I guess, tutorial purposes. There are plenty of tutorial videos of this game out already, but, I mean, this is kind of a special episode that I guess I don't expect anyone except Klesa and a few other real-life friends to be watching. But, I mean, it's out on my channel if you just feel like watching me talk about Civilization for a while. Anyway, with the major expansions, Gods and Kings, Breaking World, there are a lot of different civilizations, each with their own bonus traits, as well as either one unique unit and one unique building, or two unique units, which replace and are generally superior to standard units. So that's what makes each civilization different from each other. In theory, most of the civs are pretty well balanced against each other for competitive play. But if you're a newbie to the series, or really to the turn-based strategy genre entirely, I would probably say that there are some civs that are a little friendlier to newbies than others. Like, for example, anything with like generic production bonuses, so Rome, Korea, Russia, I would say those are pretty newbie-friendly civilizations. I would maybe, if you're totally new to genre, I would maybe avoid civilizations that require a very specialized strategy, like most of the barbarian or city-state civilizations. So Germany, Siam, Greece, I would maybe not recommend them if it's your first time playing a civilization game. Depending on the map layout, if you're playing like Pangaea, for example, which has little to no ocean tiles, I would avoid naval-specific civilizations like Indonesia or even England. Yeah, +2 movement for all naval units. That's not going to be very useful if you're on a map that no one's using ships. You can tweak everything if you really feel like it. There's 5 different victory types. Who has the most points at the end of, oh, I don't know, is it 400 turns? 1,000 turns? I don't think I've actually reached a game where we ran out of time before someone else actually won one of the other ways, so I don't remember. But yeah, you can research all of the super sciences. You can just wipe out everyone militarily. You can have the most dominant culture, or you can get the United Nations to vote you leader of the world, which would probably never happen in real life, but this is a video game, so I mean, it makes about as much sense as other things like samurai and legionnaires fighting each other, even though they're separated by both time and space.
Greetings and blessings be upon you, Kamehameha the Great.
By the way, this game is super educational.
Mighty King, you were the first.
Aside from, again, impossible scenarios like, you know, Tokugawa fighting Caesar,
with the merging of all the remaining islands under your standards in 1810.
a lot of the factoids in this game are surprisingly accurate.
Standardized the legal and taxation system.
Oh, and yes, Kamehameha, it's not just from Dragon Ball, it's also from real life.
Times of war.
Okay. Oh, this is already a pretty decent starting location, but I'm gonna scout a little bit. Okay. If this tile weren't here, this would be an ideal location to set up my first city, because then I could connect these two bodies of water relatively easily. At the risk of delaying my start of game, yeah, I'm actually going to explore. Please be worth it. It might be worth it. So things to consider besides starting luxury and strategic resources is also whether you're next to the ocean, next to rivers, next to hills or mountains, because certain buildings and wonders can only be built when you're on or next to those types of tiles. This is not the greatest starting location in terms of I only have 3 resources next to me. I mean, if you get lucky with RNG, you can start up with like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, it wouldn't be immediately adjacent, but if it's like within, I believe the maximum city size is up to 3 tiles away, then you'll reach it eventually as your city limits expand. Oh, if you're wondering why I'm on the center left side of the screen instead of one of the corners, it's because informational whatchamacallits pop up pretty much all over the place except the center left side of the screen, if I remember correctly. My memory could be a little hazy. I have hundreds of hours, over 300 hours in this game, but the last real game I played of this may have been a few months ago. I could explore more, but I don't want to delay founding my city because that's how I get to build buildings and research science, so... Culture is good because it will expand your city limits naturally, and you can also spend culture to develop social policies, which grant pretty decent civilization-wide bonuses. If it's your first time, you probably don't want to disable those advisor messages. They will teach you as much about this game as I am.
Excuse me.
Maybe even more so. Let's go with pottery. The granary will let us grow more food, which will allow our population to grow faster. And having more population in the city is generally how you get to work more tiles and get more resources, thus just feeding your overall economic engine. So, aside from the very first turn of the game where you're agonizing over your starting position and which direction in which to send your starting warrior to scouts, the first few turns of the game should not be too slow because you don't have that many cities or units to manage. That looks like a city-state already. I like the little details in this game, like how most civilizations have their own unique kind of music, at least through their first few eras. Ooh, that's good. By the way, if it's your very first time playing a civilization game, there's no shame in playing your first game on the settler or super newbie difficulty level. At least learn the game so you don't get discouraged in future attempts to play the game. I think this is on Warlord, which is still considered kind of easy. It's like the 3rd step of difficulty. Alright. Since we're going to finish that building before we have the technology to build a granary, I'll queue up a worker so I can improve the tiles for greater productivity. I would like to find some ancient ruins so I can maybe get a free unit or technology. But I guess running into city-states and natural wonders is okay too. Wow, that was fast. For basic religion to have already been developed, one of the random AI civs must be one with a religion bonus. Oh, so if you're trying to do something really specific, you can manually adjust your citizen placement. So for example, this was its first choice, food and production. Interesting. It wasn't going for maximum yield. Alright, I'm going to remove my citizen from that tile. More food and gold, but only 3 altogether. Move it here. So because it's slightly less food, I'm going to grow my population a little more slowly. But this extra hammer, which means this worker will produce more quickly. So for example... Oh, I guess at this low level of growth, it doesn't even change the number of turns I need to build that. But it does also give me more gold, which I can use to force buy tiles or units. I mean, you don't have to micro your city growth if you don't want to. The game doesn't do a terrible job of auto-assigning.
Shall the clay say to him that fashioneth it, what makest thou?
I do believe that's the voice of Leonard Nimoy, aka, Mr. Spock. I know that pretty much all of the voice work in the vanilla, in the base game, was Leonard Nimoy. I think in at least the second major expansion, maybe parts of the first, they brought in someone else because unfortunately, dear Mr. Nimoy passed away before the second expansion could come out. I am tongue-tied. Let's see. Oh, you can actually take a
Excuse me.
big ol' look at the tech tree here. And if you want, you can even kind of queue up future techs. Well, since I'm not next to a river, that's not going to be a priority just yet. Sure, let's start revealing iron on the map. So after mining, this should automatically head to... Yeah, there's a one next to it. We'll head to bronze working.
ፍትሃዊ የሆንከው ህዝባችን ሆይ እንኳን ደህና መጣህ። እኔ ኃይለ ሥላሴ ራስ ተፈሪ መኮንን የኢትዮጵያ ንጉሥ የናንተ ታማኝ አገልጋይ ነኝ።
So, don't be weirded out by the fact that he is already wearing a semi-modern kind of militaristic ruler uniform, such as would have been found in the colonial and post-colonial period of Ethiopia. I mean, the art assets in this game are pretty good, but they only bother doing like one set for each ruler. Oh, so you may have just noticed I was forced out of that tile because their city limits grew, and I can't actually be in their territory without being in the state of war.
Ma fi yw buddig, brenhines y Celtiaid.
peidied neb am tram brisoi.
As far as I know, most of the, or probably all of the foreign languages in this game are pretty accurate.
تحياتي أنا رمسيس الإله إنني
Alright, we're gonna be seeing a bunch of them. This is actually kind of a smallish map for this many civs and city-states. So things will get crowded real fast. So as I was saying, culture is good. Alright, since we only have one city, let's start with tradition. Since 3 culture right away, at this point the game is better than 1 culture per city when I don't even have enough cities. But once you've played Civ enough to start favoring specific playstyles or strategies, you may want to go with something other than tradition. That's a song from Fiddler on the Roof, isn't it? I think I saw that once when I was a kid. Maybe I should watch it again for educational purposes. I do like to consider myself to be a little more cultured than most people who sit around playing video games all day. Ooh, barbarians, okay. So depending on what civilization you are, or what social policies you've researched,
one of your combat units is near.
defeating barbarians might give you some culture, might give you some gold. It'll give the unit participating in combat experience to get stronger. I think Germany, maybe someone else, has a chance to actually convert defeated barbarians into friendly units. Alright, let's give ourselves a little bit of advantage instead of fighting them right now. Alright, since we're about to fight barbarians, let's adopt honor for a bonus against barbarians. Otherwise, I probably would have continued going down the tradition or liberty tree. Ah. Food or religion? I guess food. I mean, it's something to pick Shrine for the Faith bonus to found my own religion faster than other civs, because there's always fewer religions allowed in a game than the actual number of civilizations. So if you want to found your own religion, which gives you certain bonuses, especially if you can convince other civilizations to adopt your religion as opposed to keeping their own, that is pretty useful, but I'm going to emphasize food this time. Ooh, that's good. Except, if I soften them up and they actually get finished off by the city-state over here, then I won't get as much credit, but I'm going to wait. I think they can take another hit. So in fact, they're in defensive mode, so if they get attacked, they won't take as much damage.
The meek shall inherit the earth. but not its mineral rights.
Yeah. Unfortunate capitalism. Alright, I think I'm gonna get the kill here. Yes, alright.
We have succeeded.
Experience, culture bonus, no gold bonus, right. You need to either be the right civ or have the right social policy. Still, getting that bit of culture is pretty useful. In a game, especially early games of Civ, are very soothing, very relaxing. So let's start constructing a farm. That'll yield more food. Okay. Good to know. Not that I was really going to attack them anyway. Yeah. It is most of my gold right now, but it may be worth... Well, actually, let me see what the production... Oh. No, I don't want to. I don't want to slow down my economic roll. So, yeah, purchase. The nice thing about scouts is that they don't take a movement penalty for moving through rough terrain. And I do believe they get a bonus to walking across ancient ruins, in that they have a chance of Alright. But yeah, scouts have a chance of getting something, well, tend to get better results from ancient ruins, because ancient ruins can sometimes give you nothing, sometimes they'll give you a free unit, or my favorite though is to get a free technology, or, you know, sometimes give you a little culture. I forget. I think maybe on really high difficulty levels there's a chance they spawn barbarian instead, but I could be thinking of a previous Civilization game and not Civilization 5. Being that I've played, I think, all of them over the past quarter of a century. Really? I was probably really close to growing my population anyway. If you're playing single player mode, it's really tempting to save the game before walking across an ancient ruin and then reloading it until you get a better result. But obviously, if you're playing a multiplayer game with other friends or enemies, that's not an option. So, for the purpose of this short video, I'm just going to accept that result, even though that was probably the result I wanted least, or needed least. Vancouver, what? Canada doesn't exist yet. Basically, city-states are either civilizations or representatives of civilizations that were not considered important enough to make a playable one. So, yeah. Sorry, Canada. I actually really like Canada, but I guess from a world history or like geopolitical viewpoint, it's basically like Diet America, or like Northern America, or well, it is part of North America, but like Northern United States or something, so they didn't bother to give them their own dedicated civilization.
مصر السخية تقدم لك هذا العرض.
So they're going to pay me 1 gold per turn, right? They're not demanding I give them 1 gold per turn.
حسنا جدا.
Alright, yeah, 1 from other civilizations. Okay. Technically, this might make them a little upset, but I'm not staying. I don't have the right technology to actually construct the resource-specific improvement there. Well, it's going to be a long journey back. Only being able to move 1 tile at a time through that. Alright. I don't know that I'm going to get it, but building the Great Library before anyone else is always a nice advantage in any game of Civ. Wait, why can't I move there? Oh, is that actually someone's... Well, I may as well... Oh, okay, it is the Celts. I may as well take advantage of the fact that one of the Polynesians' traits is that they can actually cross oceans right away, which, if you're any other Civ, you need to research a certain level of technology before you can do that. So one note about building settlers. While you're building settlers, population growth is paused, and once settlers complete, population will go down by 1. So actually, since this will be done and kind of interrupt the growth of the city, let me bump that up so that the settler won't interrupt the growth of the city to population 5. Now scouts are weak, but since I have the honor bonus against barbarians, it should not die to 1 attack. And now there's a flanking bonus.
We have failed.
Alright, promotion, getting stronger. That's what we want. I wouldn't use heal instantly unless it's an emergency, because it still uses up that experience level, and units do have a maximum experience level. So since I expect to win and be able to rest, I'm not going to use that. Rough or open terrain? I guess open terrain, since you get a defensive bonus in rough terrain anyway. But then again, it goes both ways, so I guess if you're assaulting someone who's in rough terrain... Oh, okay, so right, defeating barbarians gets culture, wiping out a settlement gets you gold, and, I wonder, there's a slight chance that my scouts might actually get wiped out if both barbarians move on it, but, let's see. If I survive, I can always make the scout escape into the water. Oh, no, I'm safe. Back in city. Totally saved my bacon there. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a moment. Either barbarians will take damage from Vatican City, or I'll be healed up enough to do it myself. Oh, I guess it's already been about half an hour. Alright, I'll go a little further, at least until I can start construction of the Great Library. Ooh. This is why, even in real life, you're not favorably inclined towards the idea of religion. I mean, it is still culturally significant, especially from a historical perspective, so let's found a religion and give ourselves bonus. And now, technically, any other civilization that converts to religion will also gain these bonuses, but depending on what you do, you almost always get bigger bonuses if it's religion you founded. Sure, Moana just came out, so let's go with this entire, like, Kamehameha and, like, Maui thing. Sure. Let's all worship Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's actually a pretty decent dude. I mean, I haven't met him in real life, but everything that I've seen or read about him indicates he's actually, like, a very decent human being. And not just a, you know, a big old athlete and actor. Some of those people turn out to not be very nice people in off the field, but the Rock, it seems to be a genuinely kind and understanding human being. And in a lot of ways, I respect people more just for being decent human beings than for being great at some talent. I kind of think one of the downfalls of our culture is the fact that we respect great achievements more than morally and ethically good people. Alright. If I go for that, then I can improve that, I think it was an incense field by my city. And yeah. So let's take them down to almost 0, and the scout can fight. Yeah, even the scout can win this victory. Win this battle. Win this victory is a redundant phrase. Yeah. Ooh. Took more damage than I expected them to, but it was worth it. Now ally of Vatican City. Yay. That doesn't make sense because, one, I mean, Christian missionaries were not that great for the people of Polynesia in real history, and I'm pretty sure Catholicism doesn't even exist at this point in history. In fact, this is 2440 BC, so yeah, the entire basis for this religion doesn't exist yet. I mean, these things happen for, like, game balance reasons, but yeah, it's actually super funny. The historical incongruence or incongruity. ENCE or ITY. What is the correct noun? Well, regardless, it doesn't quite fit. Just like Samurai versus Legionnaires, which caused my Navy shipmate to walk out of the room shaking his head when he saw that happen years ago. Oh, right. And last part of this video, I'm not going to play through the next 19, well, more than 19 turns. I'm going to queue this up. If I were really dedicated to making sure I build this before other civs do, which would cancel my progress, I might move this up before the settler. But, it's okay, I'll take my chances. The Great Library is wonderful because it gives you a regular library, which just generally improves science. But most importantly, it gives you free technologies, so if you or your teammates, if you're in a team game, build it first, you can really leapfrog ahead. For example, you can go straight from, since writing is already done, you can go right to drawing poetry, or if you had bronze working, you can get right from bronze working to ironworking, saving yourself quite a few turns and unlocking. So if you go the ironworking route, boom, swordsman, you have at least a dozen turns advantage on all of your neighbors in war. So if you get really fast ironworking from the Great Library, it is pretty much GG for at least one of your neighboring civilizations. Or arguably, depending on the timing, since the Great Library itself will take a dozen more turns to build, you could go horseback riding, so trapping horseback riding, and go right into civil service and get the pikeman, who's also really diesel. Did I ever say diesel? Well, I mean, I talked about the Rock earlier, why not? So yeah. Actually, I think I see the civil service route, so horseback riding to civil service, I think I actually see that technology skip occur more often to the Great Library than bronze working to ironworking or writing to drama and poetry. I mean, besides the pikeman, oh yeah, food from farms next to fresh water. So yeah, it is regardless, the point I'm trying to make is the Great Library is probably like one of the best early wonders to go for. I mean, everyone has their favorites, but I think most of my friends and I who play Civ generally favor the Great Library. Okay, I've gone over in time. I'm pretty sure that after this episode of My Little Pony, they're going to move to Littlest Pet Shop. Oh no! Oh, okay, it's Just Too Cute, or whatnot, the show of animals. Yeah, I'm gonna leave off here, get ready for dinner. And Klesa, I will be back. Is it 5 now? I'll be back around 8 o'clock for upcoming your first game of Civ. Alright, I'm LotusCrane, this is Civilization 5. I'm rambling and distracted as usual. I mean, if you're even bothering to watch my videos, you know that's what I do. Civ 5. LotusCrane approved. Wait, this isn't even a review. What am I doing? Watch Moana. I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but it's a good step in the right direction.